math guy Steve. Let's try solving this equation. So in solving radical equations, our goal is to get the radical on a side by itself so that we can raise both sides to some power to kind of get rid of that radical. So like here, we have the radical on a side by itself, right? So we have the square root on a side by itself. And so now we get rid of that radical by raising both sides to its square root. So we square both sides of the equation, okay? Square both sides of the equation. And so let's see, on the left-hand side, what happens is the square and the square root cancel. So we get 90 minus x equals, and then on the right-hand side, we just get x squared, okay? But now we're left with the quadratic equation. So to solve quadratic equations, we get 0 on one side, then try factoring the other side, and set each factor equal to 0. So like here, we would add x to both sides and subtract 90 from both. That gives us 0 equals x squared plus x minus 90. Okay, so we got 0 on one side. Now let's try factoring the other side. This one, it's 3 terms with a 1 in front of the x squared. We can go straight to double bubble, okay, x and x. And now we need numbers that multiply to give me negative 90 and add to give me positive 1. So like here we would say, oh, that's plus 10 and then minus 9. Got it. All right, so get 0 on one side. We factor the other side. Now we can set each factor equal to 0. So here, x plus 10 equals 0. And then x minus 9 equals 0. And now we can solve each of these separately. So like here, we would subtract 10 from both sides. That gives us x equals negative 10. Here, adding 9 to both sides, we get x equals. And those would be our solutions to this equation. Oh, but it's a solution, so we definitely want to check it. That's called a Nike step. We check it, okay? Check to make sure it's actually a solution to the original equation. How do we check it? Well, we plug it back in to the original and see if we get a true statement. Let's try it. Let's see. Okay, so here's our check step, Nike step. Okay, if I plug in negative 10 for each x, let's see. Okay, if I plug in negative 10, that's the square root of 90 minus negative 10. And we're saying, is that equal to negative 10? Is that equal to x? Is this true? Well, that's the square root of 100. Is that equal to negative 10? Square root of 100 is positive 10. So that's not equal to negative 10. Got it. So that one doesn't check out, meaning this is what we call an extraneous solution. It's not an actual solution to the equation, even though we did all the algebra properly. Whereas, let's try 9. If I plug in 9, let's see if we get, okay, let's see if we get something true. If I plug in 9, that's the square root of 90 minus 9. Is that equal to, well, 90 minus 9 is 81. The square root of 81, is that 9? Is that true? Yep. 9 equals 9. That's been true. All my life, that's been true. Sure is. That one checks out. So that one would be a solution to this equation. So when solving again these radical equations, we need to just, it's not too bad. Get the radical on one side, raise both sides to some power to get rid of that radical, solve then with all the other tools that we have for solving equations. But definitely check it. Nike step, check that, okay, to make sure we don't get any extraneous solutions. All right? And always remember, math is everywhere.